On Wednesday, I told you something that hit a nerve. I told you that self blame is not accountability. And some of you realized, you don't just correct mistakes, you punish yourself for them. You say you want growth, you say you want discipline, you say you want to level up, but every time you fall short, you attack your own identity. So let me ask you something. How do you expect to build confidence while constantly tearing yourself down? You can't grow in an environment of internal hostility. And if your inner voice sounds like an enemy, progress becomes exhausting. So today we're going deeper because I don't believe in avoiding responsibility. I believe in ownership. But ownership should strengthen you, not shrink you. Hello, welcome back to JC's Learning Edge for another Friday deep dive. I'm so glad that you all are here. And I'm most excited about our lesson on today. We're going to talk about, accountability without self-destruction. So please give it the next about 7 minutes. And I truly believe that this lesson will be transformational and will help you get closer to the success you're trying to reach. So let's get right into it. My first point is self-blame feels productive, but it's emotional ego. Now, this is going to be eye-opening. So get ready. Self blame often feels like you're doing something. You think if I beat myself up, I'll do better next time. But what's really happening is it's ego. Now stay with me. When you say I can't believe I messed that up, what you're really saying is I expected myself to be perfect. Self blame is often wounded pride disguised as discipline. I'm gonna say that again. Self blame is often wounded pride disguised as discipline. True responsibility says, I made an error. Let me study it. Self blame says, I should have known better. What's wrong with me? One leads to improvement and the other leads to shame. And shame doesn't produce consistency, it produces avoidance. So here's your practical application. After every mistake this week, ask, am I correcting or am I reacting emotionally? I want you to detach emotion and study behavior. High performers analyze. They don't self destruct. They take responsibility, but they don't attack their own identity in the process. Now, my second point, identity is built by repetition, not emotion. Now, here's the real danger of self blame. Every time you attack yourself, you reinforce a negative identity. I'm going to say that again. Every time you attack yourself, you reinforce a negative identity. When you say, I'm bad at this, I'm not disciplined, or I always mess this up, your brain listens and it begins operating from that script. You cannot consistently outperform the story you've been telling yourself. If your internal narrative is critical and condemning, your execution will reflect hesitation. Responsibility, builds identity like this. I'm someone who adjusts quickly. I'm someone who can rebound after I made a mistake. But self blame builds identity like this. I'm someone who fails. I'm never disciplined. You know, I'm not good enough. Those type of things. You see, same mistake, but a different internal script, which means a different future. So here's your practical application. Replace identity attacks with identity builders. Instead of saying, I'm terrible with time, say, I'm learning to manage my time better. You see the shift? And the shift is real small, but over 90 days, honestly, even just over the week, it changes your self-perception. Your identity compounds as you continue to make those shifts and have identity builders instead of identity attacks. Now to my third point, the correction system. How to hold yourself accountable properly. Now let's get a little strategic. Here's the system I want you using moving forward. Step one is fact. What objectively happened? Like, no, take emotions out of it. No emotion, no objectives, just facts. I missed the deadline. That's the fact. You missed the deadline. Now, step two, what's the cause? What behavior led to it? I, that could be I started too late. Step three, correction. What specific adjustment will I make? You could say I will begin 48 hours earlier and set a reminder. Step four, identity reinforcement. Who am I becoming? I am becoming someone who executes early. That fourth step is where most people fail. They correct behavior but reinforce negative identity. That's why growth doesn't stick. When correction and identity align, that's when your progress starts to accelerate. And this is exactly why, I wrote my book, Graduating Half the Time, The Secrets of Self-Paced Learning, because finishing early, moving faster, achieving more, it's not just about strategy. That's a piece of it. But it's about mastering your internal dialogue. You can't accelerate your education or accelerate your journey towards success, whatever that means for you, if at every step back you turn it into a identity attack session. So if you want a structured framework for discipline, confident execution, the link is in the description. Because remember, acceleration requires ownership and mental stability and the correct um, internal dialogue. So I have it in paperback and ebook version. I really suggest that you take a look at it. Now, as I close, I want to leave you with this. When you fail this month, and you will at some point, we all do, I want you to think, will you study it or will you shame yourself for it? Because your future is not determined by whether you fall, it's determined by how you talk to yourself when you do. I'm going to say that again. Your future is not determined about whether you fall, you will. It's determined by how you talk to yourself when you do. So you don't need to lower your standards. You need to raise your emotional intelligence. Be disciplined, be accountable, but do not become your own enemy. Growth requires correction, but transformation requires identity alignment. And if this has helped you, remember to subscribe to the channel, join this community of disciplined growth and, lifelong learners, and drop in the comments, I correct, I don't condemn. Again, I correct, I don't condemn. Because remember, success doesn't shout, it shows up. And I'll see you next week.